What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another career retrospective. I have returned. It is real. I'm in the flesh. Um, Thank you guys for kind of holding the fort down for me while I was probably on, pretty close to being on my deathbed, but whatever.
All shadow, all
I'm
shadow.
still not quite 100%. I'm getting there, but thank you guys again. Thanks, Shadow, for holding the fort down for me last, 2 weeks ago with the Bray Wyatt show. I thought he did a fantastic job. Anyways, down to business. Tonight, as you probably already figured out, we are going to be taking on the career of one of the most iconic trailblazers in the history of women's wrestling, Lita. With me, as always, we got Shadow. And joining us, off the top, Ambassador Sammy. And Trey. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So what do you think, guys? Do we want to just jump right into this?
Well, I'm here for it, man. I mean, there's so much to cover.
Definitely.
In the middle of it, I will be getting my pizza, so I will be showing my camera up. So you guys will hear me get my pizza, okay?
Sammy has X amount of hours before a show to get everything ready, and she does it all during the shows.
It is not. Oh, I know. You guys, I don't know. It's. I'm stressed out. Leave me alone. I'm hungry. I'm hangry.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Sammy's a little hangry, y'all. It's okay. Shit happens.
I'm not me when I'm hangry.
Shit's gonna happen after she eats that pizza.
Especially from Papa John's, man. All right. Anyways,
it's the stuffed crust. It's so good. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's good, but okay.
Anyways, I digress. Papa John's is.
There isn't a Papa John's within 50 miles of me, so. Anyways, one of my favorite things to do with this is when I actually do the research and find out things that I never knew before. Lita, obviously her real name, Amy Dumas. She's from Fort Lauderdale. She apparently went to so many schools growing up between Florida and Georgia that she lost count. She actually graduated 6 months early from high school somewhere near Atlanta. She developed an interest in wrestling while watching Rey Mysterio perform on WCW. So she actually traveled to Mexico to learn professional wrestling under luchadors and trained, paid for her training by working as an exotic dancer. And I'm sure no one's surprised at that. In a nightclub, her stage name was Misty.
Ooh.
She ended up working in a bunch of indie promotions for the next couple of years before she made her way to NWA Mid-Atlantic, where she met Matt and Jeff Hardy, who offered to train with her. She eventually caught the attention of a certain promoter, Paul Heyman, who decided to bring her to ECW, where she performed as a valet, on-screen love interest of someone named Danny Doring. I didn't do too much research into who the fuck Danny Doring was. Does anyone here know who the fuck? Look at the pizza. Does anyone know who Danny Doring is?
I think Danny Doring was a wrestler.
He's irrelevant.
He was a wrestler, I believe.
Well, yeah, he wrestled for ECW, but like, I have no idea who he was.
How do you become a jobber in ECW though?
Ask Justin Credible.
Fair.
Anyways, excuse me. On a random episode of Heatwave in July of 1999, Danny Doring actually proposed to Lita using a condom as the ring. I have not seen this video. I would love to find this video. I didn't have time to look for it, but I really want to see it. I'm sure there's footage of it. I'm sure there's footage of it somewhere. Before we tack on to the next part of Lita, Sean, welcome in. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, welcome in. Just coming from
Sin City Alpha Wolf himself. Excuse me. Long time ECW.
If you give it a second, I think another person is going to join in a second too. So
we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Is it Sammy and her pizza? All right.
It's
might as well be a
delivery guy.
For real.
Hey, Trey, how do you like that logo right there?
What? Oh, the Raiders one?
Yeah, God, it's all fun and games until Jimmy Garoppolo throws 3 more interceptions. But anyways.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, welcome in the Raiders from Rivet City. Thank you guys.
Speaking of Raiders.
Oh yeah, perfect timing. All right. So Rob Van Dam actually developed an interest with Lita as a performer. Decided to introduce her to Dory Funk Jr. Dory Funk Jr. then invited her to train at his pro wrestling school. She was the only woman in a class of 24 students. There were 23 men. She was the only woman in that class. Funk was actually so impressed with her performance and the way she trained and the strides that she made. He actually sent footage of Lita training to the WWF. They were also very impressed with her and immediately jumped to sign her away from ECW. So she actually debuted in WWF while she was still under contract with ECW. She debuted on WWE as a member of the Godfather's Ho Train in July of 1999. Again, a footage I need to find for research purposes.
I've seen that footage. It's good.
Is it good footage?
Yeah.
I'm going to need it for research purposes.
It's nothing nasty, but it's good.
Lita was then paired with luchador wrestler Essa Rios.
I
don't really know. Essa
remember
Rios, is that how you say that? I don't know who that is.
He was ahead of his time, kind of.
I would compare him like of a Santos Escobar now.
So like a good wrestler with no charisma. Got it.
Pretty much. I mean,
a good luchador wrestler. Yeah. A short partnership between the two of them ended when Rios decided to powerbomb Lita after she inadvertently cost him a match, leading to her being saved by none other than the Hardy Boys.
Like an
That's
SAU that you
where her career skyrocketed. Shut up, Pat. That is where her career skyrocketed. She became the valet for the Hardys. She developed a much more alternative on-screen persona. She started wearing the baggy cargo pants with the the good old whale tail popping out of it.
I mean, being like 9, 8 years old and seeing that, man, I probably got a little chub,
That was an awakening for so many of us. Oh, what are you doing?
I mean, there she had an ass.
Yeah, she looked like a great tits and ass character. You're right. All right.
Jesus
anyways.
Christ.
She would have been great in TNA too.
Oh God, I love that. Yes, she would have. All right. Lita was a very key member in the Hardys' longtime feuds with both Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys, taking a whole bunch of bumps, cutting promos with the Hardys, being involved with pretty much all of the matches that those three teams had with each other at some point. She also developed rivalries on her own in the women's division with people like Stacy Keibler, Molly Holly, Tori Wilson, and Ivory. I will get to the other one later. In 2002,
didn't she rival China for a short time too?
Who?
China.
Yes, she did.
I feel like they rivaled for a very short time.
Very, very short period of time. She actually got a pinfall victory over China. Took a nasty chair shot from Stone Cold. Bro, who hasn't?
That's not the nastiest thing she's taken, though.
Yeah, we all remember the live celebration with Edge. All right. In late 2000 or early 2002, she was filming a scene for her guest spot in a TV show called Dark Angel. Lita broke her neck. The stunt double dropped her on her neck, broke her neck in 3 places, required surgery. After that, she was actually used as a color commentator for her during her recovery, which lasted about 17 months. Lucky she was ever even able to come back. She finally returned to the ring in September of 2003, saving Trish Stratus from a beatdown by Gail Kim and Molly Holly.
Gail Kim.
Shortly after, an on-screen marriage to Kane ended with Lita attempting to marry Edge on screen, a wedding that was crashed by Kane himself. What's that?
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't mine. That's Snitsky.
I know, but it's that storyline.
It was, fucking Snitsky, man.
I got a story about Snitsky that's really weird, but it's your show and I'll tell you after.
Hell yeah. So
Sean
after this whole story, and she began this on-screen partnership with Edge, reality really started to blend into storyline. And on-screen, Matt Hardy, who was still Lita's real-life love interest, at this point, revealed on his blog that Edge and Lita were having a very real affair behind his back. Because of the blog post, WWE decided to fire Matt Hardy, only to bring him back months later to capitalize on the heat that this feud would get. Edge turned heel, Lita turned heel, Matt Hardy came to have this feud, and it was one of the best feuds of the entire Ruthless Aggression era. You cannot argue me on that. It's top 5, 100%.
I remember during that story, I don't know if you have it in there or not, but I don't think you would. It's a little random fact. But Lita, I think it was doing one of those call-in shows with WWE at the time, and Matt Hardy actually called in, and it got very fucking real really quickly. He was asking her a bunch of personal questions, and she was just like, and she gave him straight answers towards the end after being pestered enough about it. And it was very real at that time.
Damn.
It was Bite This. That was the show.
You'd have to imagine that it would be really, really difficult for all of them involved to actually maintain professional attitude during that feud. Because, like, that's big. Edge and Matt Hardy and Lita were together for a long time. They were together for like 4 or 5 years at that point.
Yeah, right. And let's not forget there was a lot of heat backstage too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of heat.
Oh yeah. They after a while, Lita was still mainly used as a manager at this point. She really didn't get in the ring much. After she, what's that?
I said just in the beds.
After her long partnership with Edge, Lita feuded with Mickie James and lost the women's title to Mickie James in what was billed as Lita's retirement match at Survivor Series in 2006. Throughout the years, Lita continued to make sporadic appearances. She was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014 by Trish Stratus. She eventually returned to the ring in 2022 at the Royal Rumble, came back again the next year for an extended run that culminated in her winning the women's tag team titles alongside Becky Lynch. Now, you're probably wondering, you're probably thinking, I have left out a very, very, very crucial part of Lita's career. You cannot mention the career of Lita without also mentioning the never-ending story between her and Trish Stratus. So I put that as a whole different fucking section. So I think does anyone have anything to say about this before we dive into Lita versus Trish?
Yeah, welcome in, Jax.
Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack, I didn't even see you. Man, bro. So pale, I thought someone just turned a light on down there. Okay. Shadow?
No, I just wanted to welcome in Jax.
Oh, okay. Trey.
There was actually one storyline I probably missed, but there was actually one storyline where back in the Attitude Era when Dean Malenko was stalking Lita at one time.
Dean Malenko.
Her in the shower?
Yeah.
Or getting dressed or something?
Yeah.
Dean Malenko, another one of those like technically sound wrestlers who is great in the ring, but just no charisma whatsoever. Just a black hole. But anyways.
I didn't even make a joke about that. Anyways.
The rivalry between Lita and Trish first started off when Lita was managing Team Extreme, Matt and Jeff Hardy, and Trish was managing Test and Albert, otherwise known as TNA. Trish and Lita would come to define that entire era for women's wrestling, and it laid the foundation for women's wrestling to take the massive leaps that it did in the not too far away future and become what it is now. If it weren't for those two women, women's wrestling would not be where it's at right now. I don't believe it would be. Trish was the egotistical, cocky heel. Lita was one of the most popular baby faces in the company at the time. Every time Lita would have some kind of women's championship match, Trish would somehow cost her the championship. There was the very brief alliance between the two of them in 2003 after Lita came back from her injury. But the rivalry picked right back up in 2004. Trish constantly began taunting Lita for her situation with Kane and even appeared on screen at the wedding, claiming to be a bridesmaid and prompting Lita to attack her. They booked a match for the two of them at Survivor Series that year. The match never really truly happened. The ref disqualified Lita for just beating the absolute piss out of Trish Stratus without stopping. Then finally, history was made. December 6, 2004, Lita versus Trish became the very first women's match to ever main event Monday Night Raw. And Lita finally got one up on Trish Stratus and defeated her for the women's championship that night. A couple years later, they rekindled their rivalry once again, with Lita as the hated heel and Trish as the beloved babyface, which was something that they hadn't seen at that point. They hadn't seen that dynamic between the two of them. Trish's retirement match was actually ended up being her winning the women's title from Lita. I think it was Unforgiven, if I'm not mistaken. But honestly, to the two women, their careers are forever tied together between them. Excuse me. Does anyone have anything to say about Lita and Trish before we move on?
I have to agree with you in what you said. Without this match and without their rivalry, I don't think women's matches would eventually been headlining WrestleManias and headlining numerous weekly shows that we see nowadays across both brands. Them two women, to me, single-handedly laid the foundation for a women's division because they were going out there. Even Lita herself was going out there doing stuff some of the guys weren't doing in TLC matches and things. Really, if you had to describe it in one word, innovator. And without that feud, you don't have women's wrestling like you do today.
Yep. Lita was it's funny that you say that. Lita was the very first woman to ever take a bump during a ladder match. Ladder match. At least in WWE. I don't know if it happened anywhere else, but in WWE, she was the first one to take a bump with a ladder or table or chair in one of those matches. Excuse me. As far as her accomplishments go, they don't really speak to how much of an impact she truly had. She was part of the first ever women's main event on Raw, like I said, a 4-time women's champion, 1-time women's tag champion with Becky Lynch earlier this year. She was actually honored in PWI as being a key piece of the feud of the year in 2005. That was with Matt Hardy and Edge. And then WWE Hall of Fame class of 2014. Everyone knows that one too. So Lita is okay. Bye. Lita, one of the trailblazers of the women's revolution that we saw in the early 2010s to now. Without Lita, especially because Lita was she was almost the original anti-diva, you know what I mean? Because she didn't go out there dressed in, pink, bikinis and stuff like that. She wasn't out there. I mean, sure, she was advertising, whatever, but she had this very different style to her that was so contrasting with the rest of the women's division. And honestly, probably one of the most, if not the most important woman of the entire 21st century in professional wrestling, along with Trish Stratus. So welcome back, Shadow. This is where we kind of get back into the roundtable discussion. This is where we kind of go off into our own little tangents. Excuse me. And we're going to criticize and praise Lita. Just kidding. But anyways, if we were to take Lita's in-ring skills, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, Shadow, why don't you start us off?
Her in-ring skills. Well, like Jack said, alluded to, she's innovative. So doing the shit she was doing at the time she was doing, I'm not counting her. I still want to say it's current because we still haven't finished up the storyline if she's actually coming back or not. So in her past, I would give her at least an 8 out of 10. Just based on what she was doing at the time when she was doing it. Okay.
Sean?
I have to agree with Shadow. She's obviously slowed down a lot more currently, obviously because she's older and she knows her bum card. So I'm going to give her an 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give her that. Because she's still, like Jax and Shadow alluded to, innovative.
Oh, yeah. Sammy?
I know back, that's not, I used to watch it back then. So yeah, I took some notes down. We're doing in-ring, right?
In-ring, yes.
In-ring, yeah, okay. I'm gonna give her like a 6.5. To be honest with you, like all she had really, which was good, was the high flying moves. That's it. She got hurt a lot. She was botchy. I know people don't like that word, but she botched a lot of moves. But I still liked her, but I don't think her in ring ability wasn't the greatest. But the 15
Okay.
works in both you had.
Okay. Jax.
I give her a solid 8, but I've also seen a lot of her Mexico stuff too.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
I would need to see more of her exotic dancing to bump up the number. But
Trey.
I would give her an 8. Like you talk about her luchador style, watching Rey Mysterio and learning that craft because then, for a one, innovative because you didn't see the women like that, flying around like that, doing moonsaults and of course she had to slow it down because after she injured her neck and whatnot. But I definitely give her an 8.
Oh, yeah. Can I time out, Sammy? No, you cannot. So I think for the generation that she was in, I think she was the best in-ring worker of the females. I think, obviously, the athletes, the women, the superstars we have now are leaps and bounds better than pretty much all of those women back then as far as in-ring capacity goes. I think if you put a mid-20s, early 30s Lita like she was in the late 90s and early 2000s, I think if you take prime Lita and put her in this division, and learn with those women and train with those women, she'd be tearing the house down every single time she stepped in the ring. I think that's where she would be. I think she had that potential and that ability, but unfortunately, you can only be as good as the rest of the roster allows you to be. So being said, I do give her an 8 also, because she was doing things that women were not doing back then. She was doing things that changed the game. And yeah, I solid 8 for sure. Excuse me. So that will take us over to Lita's babyface work. This was kind of where she excelled, honestly. She was always the fiery babyface. Shadow, what do you think, man?
I don't know. I didn't like her. Like, I know she was good at the babyface role, but I wasn't a big fan of the babyface stuff. With a lot of superstars, it just, they work well as babyfaces, sure. But you see their true abilities as heels. And for me, her babyface work is a 5.
Fair enough. Sean, what do you think?
You see, I'm agreeing a lot with Shadow this week. For me, I was always the Trish Stratus guy. Like I was always Trish Stratus fan over Lita. But I didn't really start becoming a fan of Lita till her heel work with Edge. So I'll give her babyface work about a 6 out of 10. Because she's always just in the shadow of Matt and Jeff Hardy, So
I feel that. Sammy, what do you think?
Jesus Christ, Will.
Sean picks the blonde white woman. Oh, damn.
That's why you like Sammy.
Might as well call him the Aryan Wolf, Sean.
Oh my God, no.
Areola Wolf.
Jesus Christ.
Sammy, you're muted.
I blame Will. I like her babyface. She was good. Like, we might not like it, but I'm gonna rate her a 9 because she was a good babyface. Also, I feel like she was what was it like when she was? You know what? No. Oh, yeah, she was most of her face, and then she was rude. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so 9. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Now.
Pizza
You're
be
good,
hitting
you're
different.
And real quick, we're gonna slide it over to Sexual Chocolate. Welcome in here, Cam. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You look like a skinny Mark Henry right now, all right, with the beard and
What?
the.
No, he's Mae Young.
Hey, you know what?
And
You,
Henry's
you,
baby.
you get style points for that one. I never heard
Hey,
that one.
Mark
give him a
Henry
hand.
had a gorgeous beard back in the day. He did.
I'll give Cam a hand.
Hey,
yo.
what?
Sam, tell us about Lita's babyface work.
I think she did pretty good babyface work early on. Obviously, I kind of agree with what Sean was saying earlier. You know, she was kind of like the third wheel of Team Extreme. But I think she was kind of the glue of that group, though, because she kind of just
Yes, Willie did.
everybody together. And so I don't know.
Listen, Trey, you're gonna need both hands, buddy.
I would say her babyface work is probably a 6.5. I'd say.
Fair enough. Jax, we'll throw it over to you.
I can see that about 6.5. They've covered all the points. She fell kind of in the shadows. I don't think it was until her heel work she kind of really stepped out, because she was always either someone's third or someone's second. Never really a chance to shine on her own.
Right.
Face.
Trey?
To clarify my joke, when he said he was Mark Henry and I heard Mae Young, I said I'll give him a hand. That was the joke.
Doesn't matter. It's been clipped of you offering him a handy, sir. So good luck.
No. That was I was supposed to make a joke out of that, but no. With her babyface work, I give her a 7. I mean, yeah, she had, she was on the shadows of Trish, but I look at this babyface, this female who doesn't look like all the females that were blonde or brunette and
The ones that Sean liked.
yeah.
Like the redhead, like Christy.
I mean, she was tatted. I mean, you didn't see much tatted females back in the day.
She did have some wonderful tats. You're right.
And so it was she was like that, like, and she liked punk, like different type of music and stuff and whatnot. And so I give her, everyone wanted to root for her because it's like she wasn't no Trish, she wasn't no ordinary blonde, or brunette,
How dare you? Trish is not an ordinary blonde.
No, she's Canadian, so it just makes her better.
Canadian with 2 Ds. All right, continue, Trey.
But what I was saying is, no, I always think with Lita, with her babyface work, I give her a 7.
That's a little generous, but I think Lita's best babyface work always came when she was always
Always came, huh?
Wait, did you ask Ginger? Did Ginger answer his?
Yeah, you did.
She did.
Oh, I missed him.
Jesus Christ, Sammy.
Oh, hold on, Sammy. This is an MEP. We know how to navigate our hosts. Pew,
Touche.
Right. So I think that Lita's best babyface work was always when she was with somebody, alongside the Hardys, alongside Becky Lynch earlier this year. It's easy to root for somebody when they're paired up with the most popular acts in the company. And that's not to discredit Lita whatsoever, because she was a good babyface. But when she was on her own, it just always felt like there was something missing. So with that, I give her a 5. But as a heel, I think that's where things get kind of different. Shadow?
I give her a 10 because she's just a certified badass when she's a heel, man. Like, she is just all out, balls to the walls. I just love it. She was. I think that was her true, authentic self coming out. She blended a lot of her real life with her professional life, and it just mixed so well. And she did it so well. I would say she handled it with grace, but again, that whole Matt Hardy thing, that isn't graceful. So she navigated the waters in a very treacherous time, and it turned out well for all 3 of them. So, kudos to her. Kudos to them 3. But her as an individual, she came out of it wearing that Scarlet A and just fucking rocked it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely helped all 3 of them. Edge became WWE champion. Lita was a women's champion again. And Matt Hardy won the ECW title and then got fired.
But he had a better career is what I'm saying. It wasn't going anywhere at that point.
Sean.
As most as professionally as I could say this, I became a fan of Lita during her heel work, especially when she was backstage with Matt Hardy as a heel, and she revealed her new set
Damn,
of,
Sean.
You can
of
say
dentures.
tits, Sean. They're tits.
Okay. Anyways, I was a fucking puberty-ridden, almost teenager. What do you want from me? All right.
So in other words, Sean
Honestly,
jerked
Sean, I
off to
want
a lot of sex
honesty.
celebration.
That
Go ahead.
explains a lot.
anyways, but all in all, in seriousness, her heel work was a lot better, and I give it about a 8.5 out of 10. She really helped Edge as a performer grow as well and get him to that main event level, along with her going into the stratosphere, no pun intended. But yeah, 8.5.
Okay. Sammy.
Oh, wait, come back to me, okay? I'll come back to me, the next person.
Cam.
I might be changing my answer now.
Cam.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that her heel work was great. I won't say it was fantastic. Playing off what Shadow said, about the whole Edge and Matt thing, that was not necessarily the greatest thing in the world. But the feud was great, and the role that she played in it was great for for TV purposes or whatever. During her heel run, obviously couldn't stand her back then, but you look back on it now and it's like it was great. It was great heel work from her. So I'm gonna say, for me, I'm gonna give her heel work probably an 8.5. It was pretty good, and it like I said, it overshadowed her babyface run easily. So it was definitely some of her best.
Oh yeah. Ginger.
I give it a solid 8. I think it was some of her best work she's ever did.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when she won the title for the second time or the third time as a heel with Edge being the world champion at the time was just perfect storytelling. It was almost a power couple no one wanted to acknowledge
Yep.
because of all the Matt Hardy shit.
Oh yeah, and both who had gotten career-threatening injuries to their necks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just a coincidence, I'm sure, but like also interesting to think about. Sammy, are you ready?
Yeah. I thought about. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 too. Like, she was a good heel. And yeah,
Oh,
you saw the sexy side of her when she was heel.
Oh man, no one did tasteful
Yeah.
side boob like Lita. Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody did tasteful side boob like Lita. All right.
I don't know how you didn't see a nipple with her.
It happened many times.
During that live sex celebration, it happened. It popped out.
Having been backstage segments all the time. Oh yeah. All right, Trey, what you got for us?
Well, in the words of Jim Ross, what he would call her a Jezebel.
You Jezebel.
You Jezebel. I give her 8.5 because I mean, she left being in the shadows with the Hardys. She had that horrible storyline about being pregnant with Kane's baby. It was just they had nothing for her, and then finally she got to show who, like, she could play this heel personally. Like it was frowned upon, but hey, she said, "Screw it, we're just gonna go with it, literally and figuratively." But she. I think she was able to show more of her mic skills because I think when she was a babyface before, her mic skills weren't as good. I mean, I know we're going to go on that later, but I think when she turned heel, man, it was just like that sleazy, what? Can't believe she did this to Matt and whatnot. So I give her 8.5.
Oh yeah, I think maybe I'm a little bit generous too, but I think that she was very crucial in helping build not only Edge, but John Cena. I think Lita and John Cena had a really, really good chemistry together on screen, and they played off of each other really well. And I think she was very, underappreciatedly important in John Cena's babyface rise. Obviously, her and Edge together was the most hated thing you could ever fucking see on. I fucking hated Edge as a kid. I fucking hated him. there's not many heels that I can look back and be like, I actually fucking hated you. Edge is one of them, maybe one of 2 or 3.
I've
He
always
was-
loved Edge. Always.
Oh, he
No
was
matter
so
what.
good at making you hate him. But I was also like, I was 10 years old, 11 years old when he was in big heel run. So
I just
like,
call it hometown biased why I love him, to be fair.
that's fair. That's fair. And you always knew that Lita was going to be doing something to cost John Cena the match, or she was going to do something to like piss you off. And she was really good at those little things. And she got to develop her mic skills really well. And I think as a heel, she knocked it out of the fucking ballpark. I give it a 9, easy. Maybe I'm being generous, but it is what it is. So let's talk about her mic work. Shadow?
I give that a solid 7. I really don't have much to go on, but when she delivered a promo, it was at least like it didn't make you feel a certain way, but it also didn't make you hate it. So I think 7 is being generous on the side of things, but I say a 7.
Fair enough. Sean?
This is mic skills, right?
Yep.
Okay. Her mic skills, I'm gonna give her a 5. She wasn't really that good on the mic, but
Okay. Sammy?
All right, you guys are way too nice. Her mic skills, she just wasn't that good. The only time she was actually pretty good was when she was with Edge, but even though it was still a little rough with him, and at least she was able to bounce
Yeah,
off
she
of
was.
him. You know. So I'm gonna give her mic skills a 3 and 4. I'm sorry, but they weren't the greatest. They didn't keep me entertained like some other people do.
Fair enough. Cam?
Well, when she was a babyface, there wasn't really a whole lot there. She didn't really talk too much. But as a heel, it was just kind of like, they just kind of like, ripped the Band-Aid off and just kind of gave her more mic time. So I'll say it drastically improved. It was okay for what it was, I guess. I think they were kind of trying to put her on the same level of mic skills that Trish had back then. So I'll say I'll give her a 6. I'll say a 6 on the mic.
That's okay. Let's throw it over to Jax.
I really gave 2 shits about Lita's mic skills. Like, her mic skills to me were the most boring part about her whole career. Like, it's a 3.
3.
Like,
Ooh, harsh.
This
I
guy
mean,
like Ninja, okay? This guy like
she did not need a mic to do work. She needed a ring.
to be
And
fair,
you
no one
could-
was listening to her when she was talking.
Yeah, no one really
They
gave a
were,
shit.
they were looking at other things.
Yeah, her tats.
Her assets, yeah.
Yeah,
Ass
yep,
nuts.
sure.
Trey?
Well, when it comes to her babyface run, I think her mic skills was slightly better than Ronda Rousey. And that's a compliment. I think with her, I give her a 4. It's just you got to think about it. When she when she was a babyface, she didn't speak as much because she had the Hardys talking for her, and honestly, she didn't really have to talk much because she had her assets, and she had her moves. The moves that she would jump around, moonsaults and whatnot. And like I said, when she became a heel, it slightly got better. But then again, she would talk, but she had mostly Edge talking for her too.
Right.
And so it's just like I give her a 4 on it.
Edge was one of the best on the mic too. So like she really didn't have to talk. I also would throw probably like 3.5, maybe a 4 on a good day. Her mic skills were never her asset. But her mic skills were never what drew people to her. It was her in-ring work, her presentation. We'll leave it at that. And the people that she was associated with. Trish Stratus, Edge, the Hardys, So it was her promo. I couldn't tell you an iconic promo that Lita ever cut because there isn't one. And, that's okay. Not everyone can be Paul Heyman on a microphone. That's okay. She had a great legacy without it. So yeah, 3.5, 4. So Shadow, I'll throw it over to you. We'll talk about her overall body of work.
Before we do that, I want to take a quick 30 seconds and run an ad for our merch.
Want to help support Off the Top Media? Check out our merch shop. You can grab yourself a t-shirt, a teddy bear, a hat, a mug, or a bag. We have something for everyone. Head over and get yours today.
Now, her overall body of work, man, her body of work, but her wrestling body of work.
All right.
Like I said, given what the innovation that she had done with the TLC matches and being involved in different spots and literally doing what most women didn't. I'm not judging based off her current run because it's just sloppy Legends work. But given what she did in her prime, I would say 7.5. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Sean, we'll throw it over to you.
Her overall, I'm gonna have to give her we'll give her an 8 overall. Just because in her prime she was doing things that other women weren't doing at the time. She was going above and beyond. So I give her an 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. Mikey down there with the 6.5, harsh. All right, Sammy.
I'm gonna have to go with Shadow and give her a 7.5. You know, she's lucky the heel work with Edge made her great, and then her low cut shirts and side boob. You know, well, I don't think she wore low cut shirts and side boob.
You are echoing like a motherfucker, Sammy.
Echo.
Motherfucker.
Wee!
Side boob.
No, it's not Sammy.
Anyone here?
It is not
Trey.
Bitches trying to play me.
It's Trey.
That was
And he
myself
got-
too, though, to be honest. Who left?
Was it Trey?
Trey.
It was Trey.
Oh, Trey.
He's so grounded.
Trey.
All right. Anyway, Sammy Two Belts. You were saying a 7.5?
Yes, sir. After it gets really done with me.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Trey, we'll throw it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, we're gonna throw it to Cam. There we go.
I'm gonna say solid 7 overall body of work.
Fair enough. Jax?
I'm gonna have to go with the man who I'm gonna openly mouth kiss one day, Cam, and say a solid 7.
Okay.
Ooh, can I walk?
All right.
Ooh, he wants that sexual chocolate.
He doesn't know that his life hasn't started until then.
Hey, when your beard's intertwined, it'll look like a tiger.
It would.
Trey?
Mine would be mine would be 6.5. Reason being is because as a fan point, when it comes to the women, everyone had their Trish. You were the Trish Stratus fan or you're a Lita fan. Well, I was the one that was in the middle, and I was a freaking Victoria fan, and she's gonna be my babe till this day. So I was always a big Victoria fan. I always thought she got lost in the shuffle. But yeah, I give her a 6.5. It's just, I mean, her body at work, but I think it's just she could have done more later on in her career, but such an unfortunate when it came to her injury on her neck, and she couldn't really do as much. We couldn't really see much of her, just like what happened with like Stone Cold and whatnot. So I give her 6.5.
Fair enough. I think she gets a little bit of bonus points from me because of the legacy that she has and the impact that she left on the women's division. And for that, I would say a 7.5. I don't believe she's in the greatest of all time talks. I don't believe she's in the, top of the top of the tier, or the top tier. I don't think she's that high. But
I would put her in the greatest of all time era of ruthless aggression, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think she is vital and extremely important to the growth of the women's division, and she was very much a necessary piece of the women's revolution. She laid that foundation with Trish Stratus. They ran so the women's division today could fucking sprint. All right. I don't know if there's a better way to word that, but
that wasn't a metaphor, but I appreciate the effort.
Close enough. I mean, I tried to change it up a bit because they walked so the other ones could run. Whatever. We're gonna jump over to the favorite. What you think your favorite moment was from her career, and it can't be the sex celebration.
Oh damn!
I'm gonna say everyone is like, oh fuck. Next question.
There goes
everyone's signing off right now.
Good talking to you guys. Bye.
I have two, and it's not really a match thing. One is when she took those bumps in the TLC when Rhino and Spike were thrown in there. Like, that was so fucking cool to see that happen. And my second one is when she slapped the shit out of John Cena's dad.
Oh yeah, that one was good.
But those are my two moments.
Sean?
I'm gonna have to go her storyline with Kane. And then
I hate you.
Oh, me too. That was mine also, you motherfucker.
And then when I got to see her again live at WrestleMania this year, because her and Trish and Becky together.
Oh,
We got to stop voting Sean to come on these shows because he's met everybody. So
I know.
it's
He
just not
wasn't
fair.
even in here. Who invited him in here in the first place?
Who invited this guy?
I'm sorry I met Lita twice. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Sean. I get to meet every freaking diva. Goddamn it!
Not just divas.
Some guys feel like this.
Sammy?
Turn that off.
Oh, well, you know what? It's gonna be the moment that she cheated on Matt Hardy. There you go.
What?
I'm just kidding. Mine was gonna be the Kane one too, but
Oh.
he said it. So I'm saying when she left Matt and went to Edge, a real man.
Wow. I'm sorry. Have you seen Rebby Hardy?
I'm kidding.
I've seen.
Oh, his wife is so beautiful. Oh my god. I'm kidding.
Cam, what do you think?
Mine's the Kane one.
So I have two. One I think was the storyline with Dean Malenko, just because she used to smack around Dean Malenko like a little bitch boy. That was hilarious.
Oh.
And then the second is probably, this one's a little gruesome, but the second one was when she did break her neck, because that injury is like iconic with the storyline with her and Trish, and it was just nasty. And I think that was like one of the first like real like serious injuries we saw with like women's wrestling. So yeah, it improved her character. It really it made her better when she came back. So yeah.
Jax, what do you think?
I'd have to say when her and Trish main evented, for me it'd be when they main evented Raw.
Mm-hmm.
To see that, like, to be watching live and go, oh shit, this is somewhat of history. Like, this is gonna, like, not knowing at the time that one match would fucking outline the rest of the women's division for the future. But I always thought that was cool to watch two women main event a Monday Night Raw.
Hell yeah, it was. Trey, what do you think?
Well, I got two. We talk about the main event, but also, and don't be surprised, I'm bringing up an Undertaker reference. Okay, leave me alone. Anyways, there was a part when Undertaker was Big Evil as a heel, and we were talking about her bumps and what bumps she would take. And I think this one, they're by the stage, and she was trying to throw Lita off the stage at first, and then she ends up kicking him right in the jewels, and then Taker grabs her and just chucks
Y'all
her.
are really PG. It's testicles. It's not hard to say.
No,
Right in the fucking nutsack.
Nutsack. But
Right in the fucking pallbearers.
Yeah, but he still threw her across the stage, and like, what woman would actually do that? You think for her to do that, just she's not, big either. She went flying like crazy. And
So
to her
you
to
asked
do
what woman would do that? I'm pretty sure he throws Michelle around the bed.
But no, yeah, that was my favorite part. Like just knowing that she could, like, she does that for the company and do those type of bumps.
Oh shit! Sorry, I just forgot it was my dad's. I just forgot it was my dad's birthday today.
You are
such a
You got like 4 hours to say something. You better fucking do it.
But right now.
Text your dad right now. We're not continuing the show until you do.
You better leave, Sean.
Fucking call him.
Sean's saying happy birthday to his dad.
No, he's got to call it. We got to hear this now.
Wait, don't you live in the same house?
Yeah.
Get your ass up and walk to the room and tell him happy birthday.
Fuck, Sean.
Man, what a heel. Man, you're heel.
I'll tell him after the show.
No.
He just reminded me.
Man, this
I reminded you?
This is worse than Dom turning on Ray.
My dad was like, "Do you know what date it is?" I was like, "Yeah, it's Thursday." He's like, "And?"
Yeah, dude.
Go now, motherfucker. Go.
Right.
Man.
Just go now.
I'll wait till after the show. It's fine.
Fine.
You
all right.
Bitch.
You better go out to take him
Anyways.
out for some food, Sean.
I will. I'm gonna buy some food for us. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go to Vegas.
Anyways, my favorite Lita moment, I have a couple. One is actually at WrestleMania 22 during the Edge and Mick Foley match.
Oh, yes.
He took a mandible claw with barbed wire to the mouth, ends up on the outside of the ring, and she's just sitting there up against the barricade with blood coming out of her lips. She just goes, I'm like, that's fucking badass. Because you know that fucking hurt. Excuse me. And also in that match, she lit the fucking table on fire for Edge, which was pretty sweet. Also,
the spear that solidified his career.
Oh yeah, that without that match with Mick Foley, he probably would have only just had that 1 3-week title reign. That fucking match. Anyways, also earlier this year, I got to see her and Becky Lynch win the tag titles, and for when I was a little kid, Lita retired in 2006. I never thought I'd get to see her perform. Got to see her perform. Got to see Trish return. Trish and Lita in the same building, and got to see Lita win a championship. That was really fucking cool to me. And then I got to meet her at, oh my God, the Squared Circle Expo in Indianapolis, and she had her fucking tag belt with her. And I got to get a picture with her with the tag belt. It was fucking awesome. She was such a sweet woman. I love her. I love her. Anyways. Favorite Lita match of all time? Shadow.
Ooh. Mine's the main event. I mean, it's a pretty basic answer, but it is. It's making history. It's a big moment. So it's my biggest memory and my favorite moment of hers, I guess, or match of hers.
Fair enough. Sean?
Yeah, I'm about to do the main event.
All right. Sammy.
Sorry to keep muting myself. My roommate's playing some computer game and yelling in the background. I was gonna say the main event too, but also all the times besides her and Trish, her and Mickey James, I don't know how many matches they've had together and pay-per-views that they've gone back and forth. So her and Mickey James, they're actually really good together too. So I have to
They had that series of matches where there was like a weird stipulation attached to each one.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was the blindfolded match, there was the hand tied behind the back match. It was weird, and they were all really entertaining too. And then their final match against each other, Lita's retirement match, was really fucking good too. Cam.
It was.
I'm gonna say, well, first of all, I also had another favorite moment of mine from Lita that I forgot about till just recently, but it was WrestleMania 17 in TLC, and she came out. She absolutely annihilated Spike Dudley with a chair shot, and then ate a 3D from the Dudley Boys. So that was a cool moment as well. Favorite match, I probably would have to say it was probably Trish's original retirement match at Vengeance in like 2006. I thought that was a pretty good match. And what a way to close out a storied rivalry between her and Trish Stratus.
Mm-hmm. Jax?
Her versus Dean Malenko for the light heavyweight title.
Forgot about that match.
I don't. That's not. I mean, I feel like it's the same. I feel like we've all said the main event, so I wanted to throw something stupid out there.
Fair enough. But you're going to say the main event then?
Yeah, the main event.
Trey?
That's good. I know don't want to keep repeating myself, like everyone else, but main event. I mean, to be able to do that and to make history like that, especially with her, even though they were rivals, but they were best friends at heart. Behind the scenes, to do that, it was wonderful.
Wow. Guess I'm throwing a curveball at y'all because that is not my favorite Lita match. My favorite Lita match was actually Lita versus Becky Lynch last year at Elimination Chamber.
That was a good one.
From an in-ring perspective, that match was fucking incredible. I can never knock the importance of her match with Trish on Monday Night Raw. That was a very close second. But from an in-ring perspective and overall entertainment value, Becky versus Lita, man, that was it for me. Are there any dream matches that we didn't get to see that you would have liked to see? Shadow?
Yes, actually, a couple. Saraya versus Lita.
Yeah,
Yep. The anti-diva versus the anti-diva.
Love you, Sean, but Britt Baker and her, I think they're both paced about the same.
Fuck Britt Baker.
Thank you, Nate.
Here one. Tiffany Stratton.
You gonna say all of them? You gonna say all of them?
And give me Shotzi versus Lita.
Fair enough. All right, Simp City Wolf.
Jesus Christ. Damn, Shadow took a lot, but I'm gonna go. I have a few. I have Lita versus Thunder Rosa. I have, of course, Shadow said Lita versus Tiffany. Lita versus Jade Cargill would be good.
Okay.
And Lita versus I'm gonna go Jordan Grace, a powerhouse.
Okay. Sam?
I had two. The one I would have, might be able to happen. I would love to see is Lita versus Rhea. I think that would be a good match.
It would.
Now you know how I feel about the thing with Sean.
You, Sammy.
Lita and Bailey. I know Bailey. Lita was her. Damn, right? Because Lita was Bailey's person she looked up to. I can't do the word right now. Her role model. She was her role model when she was growing up. So.
And now Bailey's a role model.
Together. Right. So yeah, it'd be Rhea and Bailey, I believe.
Cam, what you think, man?
Well, Sammy took one of mine, but I'm going to say it anyways. Lita versus Rhea. I'm going to say Lita versus Abaddon. And then I'll say
Abaddon
Lita,
still exists?
I guess. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I assume she does. And then I would say Lita versus Io Sky.
Ah, motherfucker. I didn't think anyone was going to say it.
What do you want?
Jax.
Oh, I'm throwing a curveball for everyone. And it's the only reason is because Lita's really inspired by Lucha Libre. And one of her idols was Rey Mysterio. To see an intergender match, which that's nothing out of the normal in Mexico. To see them go intergender, I think they would have complemented each other in the ring amazingly. But if we're going active day, I'd like to see like a Billy Starks or somebody, like an up and coming talent.
That's good.
You said the Lucha Libre. What about Thunder Rosa?
I
That
said
would
Thunder
work, too.
Rosa.
Yeah,
Shut up, Sean. No one asked you. It doesn't count when you say it.
Sean's answered everything. Who should be the next world champion? Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
Trey.
that's fair.
Trey, what
That's
do you think?
fair.
I got one. I'm surprised no one said anything.
Nobody
Lita
wants to see her versus The Undertaker, bro.
No, Lita versus AJ Lee.
Ooh, I
AJ
like that.
Lee was a big fan of Lita, and AJ Lee could play that. You know, she had that craziness, that mindset, kind of like how Mickey James was with Trish Stratus. Like she could have that, like that. Oh, I was a fan of yours, and then now I know who the real real you are. Blah blah blah. Just
Listen, I just remember that WrestleMania moment where Mickey James licked her fingers. That was
Trey, while I respect what you're saying because it's a dream match of yours, AJ Lee cannot wrestle. Sorry.
I know she can't wrestle, but I think it would just be a great like storyline, just to like, hey, I was a fan of yours, because there's a video of her when AJ Lee was younger and she was like crying and shit. Like they could use that.
So
storyline wise, it'd be a good one.
I had two. Number one was Io Sky for obvious reasons. They both do the moonsault. They're both high flyers. They would put on a great match. Number two, and I don't judge me, but I saw this on an episode of Total Divas. I never really sat down and watched that show. This is just one of the things that I actually remembered when it was on TV. This woman grew up idolizing Lita. She pretended she was Lita. She grew up very poor, and when she was in school, she wore baggy clothes, and she was a tomboy, and she got made fun of a lot. Liv Morgan. I think Lita and Liv Morgan would have the story writes itself there. And I think they'd be, no one wants to admit it, but Liv Morgan is a very good in-ring worker. She is.
Just ask King Jody. He'll tell you all about it.
I will die on that hill. I don't think she's not, Four Horsemen level. She's not even Bliss level, but she's very good. She's definitely a very good in-ring worker. And I think the two of them could, with enough time, could put on a great match. And I think it'd be a great story to tell too.
I think you just said it. Another one that would be good. And shout out to Mike in the chat is Lita versus Mercedes. But you said it just a second ago. Her and Bliss would probably do a banger match too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lita's got the moonsault. Bliss is basically just a rotating moonsault, is it not?
Yeah, Twisted Bliss is basically a rotation.
Faces forward, but then she, yeah. I mean, that would be a good match, absolutely. And
Lita
I'm actually
Valkyrie.
How come no one has said Becky Lynch? Again. Just kidding. No, she already did Becky Lynch. That was one of the ones that I always thought before it happened we would never get. Becky Lynch, when she was Steampunk Becky in NXT, was like Edge and Lita's love child.
If we got that Becky versus Lita, sure, but we got the wrong kind of
Becky versus Lita would have been fucking banger, but
let me say also Prime Natalia versus Lita.
There is
nothing
no
Natalia ever. Nothing ever.
Has she got to that point in her career yet?
I'm just
when does Natalia start getting into her prime? When she's in her 50s? Like,
I don't know. Her uncle still hasn't stopped crying, so we'll figure it out.
Dude, her uncle is a baby bitch. All right. Like, if we could, never mind. You probably know where I was going with that, but I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead.
We need Jesus in the chat.
All right. With that being said, are there any other things about Lita? Anything that anyone wants to kind of throw out there before we sign off?
Hot take, but I don't think she should have went into the Hall of Fame when she did.
8 years after she retired?
Nope, I don't think so.
Interesting.
You think she should have went in sooner?
Yes and no. I think because of when she went in, the Divas Revolution was this big hot subject. And I think she went in just based off that. And I don't think that's fair to any bit of a tribute to what she's done. Like, yes, she trailblazed, sure. But you only really recognized her because of the topic in WWE at the time. It was more shining a light. Yes, she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying she doesn't, but you did it just because of the way you were going with the stories in WWE. And I don't think that's fair to anything she's done.
I feel that. Can we talk about a really underrated moment though with Lita? Was Raw episode 1000?
It's always Raw with Lita.
So Raw episode 1000, it was like after weeks and weeks of Heath Slater calling out legends for matches, Lita answered his challenge at Raw 1000, brought APA with her and all of the other legends that had shown up in recent weeks. And I thought that was really cool. She hit him with a twist of fate, and then JBL hit him with a fucking clothesline from hell that looked like
he
it
just
took
died.
his head clean off his shoulders.
He just died.
And he literally he fell and he
Can we talk about how surreal it was that also with Lita had Vader and Psycho Sid in the same ring on Raw again?
Oh yeah, it's let's see. There's Road Warrior, one of the Road Warriors, whichever one's still alive.
They're both dead.
What?
Yeah, they're both dead.
They're not both dead.
Both.
No,
Yeah,
they are.
Hawk and Animal are both dead.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
LOD's
Animal was still alive.
No, Animal
You're
died.
riding high now.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, Paul Ellering's still kicking, so.
That was Paul Orndorff, I think.
He's dead.
Oh, you're right. Road Warrior Animal died in 2020.
Well, oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Rest in peace, I guess. Fuck me.
Jesus, Lord of mercy.
But it was okay. So it was Road Warrior Animal, obviously, that came out.
Doink.
The APA, Doink the Clown, Psycho
Doink, though?
Sid, Vader.
The sober one.
I don't know, the one that's not dead.
Oh my God.
You asked.
This is going off the rails.
She's pretty fucked up. She was the one that was dead.
All right. Anyways.
But yeah, super underrated moment. Heath Slater is one of the most underrated WWE superstars of all time. I firmly believe. I think that he's funny. He was a good comedy character, but I think they could have done so much more with him. But we can get into that another day.
He has kids. He has kids.
He does have kids.
But no, I don't know if I could go with. I was listening to her podcast with she was with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and she brought up about how, and he mentioned, and a lot of the female wrestlers bring up him in her era, and she said even though she learned the luchador stuff, but when you go into WWE, you got to learn other stuff too, not just the luchador stuff. You got to learn the technician and promos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And she brought up one guy that helped her, and I know he should be in the Hall of Fame, is Dave Finlay. Fit Finlay, she brought up that how Fit Finlay really taught her not just, the luchador side, but there was more to it.
Finlay,
she said,
Finlay is super underrated for as much work as he's done with the Divas.
Yeah, and Finlay said Finlay didn't sugarcoat nothing. He's like, Finlay whooped her ass, but that's what she wanted because, I mean, he's not going to be tough on you. And I mean, it's Finlay, and so
Finlay, he loves the.
So that's what I like how she gave Finlay the hey, that's like a father figure to her, taught her a lot.
I think Finlay is one of the most valuable assets that company has and has ever had.
Other than William Regal, yeah.
Okay. That's a career retrospective I would love to take on sometime.
I'll be here.
So let's do it next.
I won't be there for that.
Here we go. William Regal.
William Regal, especially if Survivor Series is going to be a War Games match, we can do William Regal. War Games. William Regal.
Mystic to say War Games. Sorry, I think about my head.
War Games. All right. William Regal, in my opinion, is the most underutilized and underappreciated professional wrestler of all time. I will die on that hill. Anyways, wrapping up the show with Lita here. Any final comments from anyone?
No, I'm good.
All right, Shadow, where can we find you, man?
You can find me here on Rivet City Radio and Off the Top on Saturday nights with Ringside Chatter. Then you can find me and the gorgeous beard below me on Monday nights for Sorry for the Interruption, where we're not sorry for interrupting your day. No. On that, you can also find me on TikTok, that guy Shadow.91 and that guy Shadow.91.3.
All right. Sim City.
Jesus Christ. You can find me over on Rivet City Radio Sunday nights. What the bearded, handsome man over there, KMG, for the table spot at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Rivet City Radio for Indie Wrestling Gazette with the Will Gray, where we talk all things indie wrestling, and sometimes we have interviews. So come check it out. We did Miles Blackwell not too long ago. It was a great interview. And you can find me on TikTok, still for now, the Alpha Bull Sean B. And click the link, and it'll take you to everything else.
Sammy.
I'm sorry. You can find me on here sometimes being a guest with these lovely people. TikTok, SammyXO43 and SammyXO29, and Instagram, SammyXO43. That is it.
All right. Cam.
My TikTok pages are in the chat, as you can see. You can find me on
Just delete
Rivet
those
City
real
Radio
quick.
every single Wednesday night. You can find me on Off the Top Media every single Friday night with Friday Night Review, and on Sunday nights on Rivet City Radio with the Table Spot. I am on Twitter now at Cam and Cheese 317, and if that does not sizzle your bacon, you can find me on Instagram at 317 Bacon, Eggs, and Cam.
Jax.
Well, like Shadow says, you can find me here on Mondays sorry for the interruption. I don't give a shit if we hurt your feelings or not. Tuesdays for NXT on Taps. Wednesdays on the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack for Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. Anything else you want to know, follow me on Twitter at JaxBo2020.
Mr. Trey.
Ooh.
You can find me on TikTok with Treyway. Hopefully, I'm not breaking chairs or falling on my butts, but you'll see me on Sunday cheering for my Bucks against the Lions, where we whip them Lions' butts.
Or cramping up dancing.
Oh, I remember
That
that,
happened that one
guys.
time.
One time too many, bud.
You breaking chairs.
All right.
Let's go Tampa Bay.
Absolutely not. As for me,
Bless you.
you can find me here every 2 weeks on Thursdays. Career Retrospective Off the Top Media with Rivet City Radio. You can find me on TikTok at Nate McNamara WB. My Instagram and my Facebook are currently disabled, so don't try to fucking reach me there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. With that being said, join us 2 weeks from now. We will be taking on Sir William Regal with the Career Retrospective. And what do we got going on this week with Rivet City and Off the Top, Shadow?
Well, tomorrow night you can catch Friday Night Review with Cam, Scals, and I believe Jamie Rose. Saturday night you can find Ringside Chatter with me, Scals, and McDuster. Sunday morning you can catch Rivet City Red Zone with Metalcore Mike. I forget his host with him,
John.
and I apologize.
John.
Thank you. Sunday night you can catch Will Gray and the crew with Bosh Bots and Chair Shots, followed by the Table Spot with the Simp himself and Metalcore Mike and Cam G and John. See, I remember that time. And then Mondays you could just catch us causing shit at 11 p.m.
Damn. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.
Any.